Hey guys, what's up? It's Sailor Pauli here. I'm working on my boat today because I broke the centerboard cable last time I went sailing. When I winched it in, it just kind of shredded. It was done. It was just done. Okay, so you can see my centerboard cable is all shredded from our last trip. It finally gave out. You can see it's kind of rusty. My winch is terribly rusty. I really probably need a new winch. This would be a good time to upgrade. I'm gonna think about it. So here's the cable, and you can see it's been unraveling probably for a while. So I tried to replace my winch handle on my boat that controls the centerboard, but my winch handle is on the centerboard trunk and it needs to spool off the bottom of the spool. It needs the cable to run off the bottom of the spool. And those winches with a brake apparently are designed to spool onto the top of the spool. And that works fine if it's mounted on your mast support post. But if your winch is mounted on your centerboard trunk, you would either have to reverse the handle to the walkway side as opposed to the toilet side, you know, so that it spools off of the bottom. And the problem that I had when I actually tried to make it work is that the handle unscrews and falls off. And then it appears that it will just spool all the way out really fast and slam onto the bumper. So I just couldn't take that risk. I couldn't try to figure it out anymore. My winch was fine. It was just old and rusty. I took it apart. I took all the pieces apart. I even took the spool off and I painted everything and I put it back together, and I'll probably do that for years. Okay, so now I've got another problem. I'm trying to tighten this nut and I have to reach under the backside with the open slot, and I'm sliding it on it, and now I need another 12. So stupid. So when I took off my old winch to repaint it, there were two bolts that were sticking up and they were caulked in, and I decided to just leave them there caulked in rather than try to take them out and rebed them with caulk, because it was going to be very hard to get them back in that tiny little slot way up under the centerboard without needing a lift. Really, I think that'd be the easiest way to do it, is to have the boat lifted up so that you could actually gain access to the centerboard trunk from underneath. So all I got is this wrench. Maybe I should switch this one. See if that works. Oh yeah, it's working. So I actually just figured out, of course, that I can use my socket set. Oh, here. And I've got a knuckle already set up. So I think that'll work. Let's see if I can get it on. That's it. Now we've got it bolted on. Okay, this is turning it counterclockwise, and it ratchets, and it's rolling up on the bottom edge of the spool. So here's the inside of this trunk. There is the block. It looks like all stainless. I have moved the wheel with my finger and it spun freely. It seems pretty simple, all stainless. Okay, so now I'm in here in the V-berth, and you know, this has not been dealt with in a long time. It has not leaked. That's because I took this plastic shim and I cut it to fit, so that it fits right here, and I caulk it in, and that's how I keep those things from leaking. And I literally, as I've got marine caulk holding it on 5200 or something like that, then I just put 2 pieces of duct tape down it on either side, maybe 1 piece of duct tape or whatever, and that just holds it and keeps it from leaking there. And then of course I caulk all these washers and stuff, and I want that to solidify before being used, so that those bolts are sealed there. Okay, but I got a lot of cleaning up to do. It's a mess, so I'm gonna put this down. Alright, so now here's my trunk. It doesn't look too bad. If you look right there, you can see that this horn on my keel has like some epoxy smeared all over it, and like 3/32, almost an 1/8 inch thick. It's like just epoxy, I think. And it's kind of flaking off. I don't like that. I'm not crazy about it. What is it hiding? I hope nothing. Okay, so we've got our winch on. Now we want to get our cable going. Mine is plenty long. I know that I'm going to end up taping it and cutting it. I've got this all cleaned up. It's maybe not as perfect as it could be, but I know it's going to be good. Here's what we got. So, you know, there's still some caulk on the sides, but I have rubbed all this, and it is free of dust and dirt, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and string in this cable, which it goes through the bottom hole, and then on this side it's going to come through. You can see it right there. I'm just going to turn it. Okay, so now I got to grab it. With some needle nose, maybe. Look at that, I got it. Alright, so now I can pull it all the way in, and at the end you'll see it's going in. When I made this, I realized that they needed to be hammered flat in order to get into this space too. So I laid it down and hammered it against a brick and flattened it just enough to where it goes in here. The eyelet lines up with this hole, and it gets a bolt with some washers. So we're going to put those in now. Okay, so I've got a bolt with a shiv in it. You see, it's all, there's no bearings. It's
just friction. It's got an assortment of washers on it. That goes in the top. And I think we need to go ahead and do that. That one's going to go in there, and it's going to be complicated. It's not going to be easy because I've got to get this washer in. I'm getting these two large washers on the side to fill some space and also to help keep it from binding up in there. And so I'm going to stick them in. And this is always going to be a trick. There's, I think, maybe a trick here. I think I can take this small one and just go right on in with it. Maybe by holding it with this. Okay. That went terribly. Let's try it. But I've got the bolt in now. And I've got this screwdriver. I think I can somehow oh yeah. Look at that. I got it on there. So I've got the first washer already there. And now I'm going to try to get the second, maybe all three of these. Maybe all three of these. Which means I need to back the screw out just enough. I can slide these suckers in there. I'm trying to hit something again. Yeah, I remember this being tricky before. We're just gonna keep going until we think we figured it out. I have no idea what that's gonna be. I'm kind of guessing the screwdriver washer trick is pretty good. Yeah, now I'm into those two. I'm gonna go with the next one. So I'm pushing on it. I'm trying to get it into position. I'm gonna take the screwdriver, try to help it along until I feel like I've got, yes, it coming through. Now I just got one more washer to put on. This one here. And I'm gonna put that same orange spot in there. God, that looks perfect, is it? Oh, it was so close. Okay, try that again. Okay, I can feel it falling a little bit, so I'm going to try to lift it with the screwdriver. I think I have to screw it in. Oh, I think I'm going. Yay! Okay, so I'm in. Okay, so I got a rag, a screwdriver, some caulk. I'm gonna go in here first. My caulk is a little hard, so I'm going to roll it up. Oh, this is gonna be messy. Yes. I like tinkering with my boat. I don't know if everyone likes this, but I do. It's like, it's just fun. It's kind of like a miserable project too. Look, everything looks good. The welds look good. I see a little stress thing right there. I think it's fine. So I've got some caulk in that first washer. Do I really need to get it in the second washer? Probably not. But since I want these things not to leak, I'm going to do it again. Yeah, that's probably way too much. But this is important, honestly. This is what people don't want. They don't want to show up in Ocracoke and have their bed all wet, because that's what gets wet right here. It all gets wet. And that's kind of where you lay your head. Your arm might be touching it in the middle of the night. You don't want that. So you caulk all this stuff really good. Now on the back side here, you just want a little bead. It should do it. Alright, I feel good about that. Now I'm going to put the washer and nut on, which I'm going to use this nice 3/16 washer that I got from my cable railing job. I have a fascination with just saving screws. I have a great stainless steel screw collection, and I love it. And if I find a washer or some screws, I'm always like, oh, what a good find. I put it in my collection. It's ridiculous. It's kind of fun though. I'm going to tighten. I kind of want to go ahead and wipe off, try to reduce this mess before it becomes a mess, because it is all going to squish out. That's it. I don't want it really tight. It seems like there's no caulk inside there. Like we only got it on the outside. You know, we didn't. I was trying not to have it squish inside there. I think we did that successfully. And now I'm just going to put another nut on. And the idea is we're going to hold this one while we tighten that one. Okay. So this bolt is a little thinner. I do have a 1/4 inch hole. Nope, not gonna work. We're gonna have to use the 5/16 holes. And here we go, we've got 2 of them. Okay, so we've got bolting with caulk on it. Wipe the bolts off a little bit. Alright, I'm going to clean this up and caulk down there. What is that, silicone? Probably. Yeah, it's a little mess. Whatever. It's great. I still get to go sailing. I have this fun boat. And the projects are manageable. I often wondered, like, they don't really make like a boat like this now. I don't think they do. Maybe I'm missing something. Like, it's just too much work for them to sell. They're like, nobody wants a small 21-foot sailboat for what, 80 grand? We're kind of lucky to have boats. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to caulk all this little rectangle and put that piece of plastic, that plastic shim to cover it. Where's it? Here it goes. So this was a standard plastic shim, and it's designed to break, you know, for whatever length of a shim you need. And I ripped it down the middle. Maybe use a skill saw or something. And now I'm going to glue this thing right here, covering all that stuff up after I finish the installation. I can see it. It's just a little slit. It's going to be tricky. I'm just going to go over the top of that block of the sheave. Oop, it's coming out. I just got to figure out if that's where I want it. I want it to go on the bottom side of the bottom side of that sheave that's inside there. So in order to do that, I gotta do it from back here. Coming back here, I've got my screwdriver again, my trusty screwdriver. I'm pushing it down. And I'm hoping that I can push it in and lower it. I'm just gonna put this down for a second. I'm gonna push the cable forward, but also push it down with that screwdriver. Okay, that's not working. Okay, I was actually able to see the slot and stick the cable through the lower side of the slot from the other side. And now it's coming out the right way. I want it to go over this sheave now and then back into that slot. So that's my next trick. And I don't think it's going to be that hard. Nope. All right, that's it. So now the cable's coming through. Okay, down here, the cable has come through. And this is going to be the cable that goes to the winch. This is the bitter end, and it goes towards the winch. So I'm sticking it through, and now it's coming through the slot. All right, making progress. Now I've got to feed all this excess through. The wire's coming through now, and we've got it all pulled tight on the forward end. We've got it all pulled tight on the forward end. I know that it is like 5 wraps on my boat on this winch, because I count them. When I raise and lower the centerboard, I know that my board is all the way down with 2 wraps left, and I think it's 4 wraps. So I'm gonna just wrap them back on there now. And I know that it spools. The slot makes it need to line up on the bottom. So now I'm just going to This is like right where it usually lays. So I'm gonna go with that, assuming that it's gonna be the same. Same winch, same kind of cable. I believe this is a 7-foot long piece of cable. And I think you have on other San Juans, it's not mounted on the centerboard trunk like it is here on this one. I've definitely seen this a few times. You know, these boats were raced, and I guess different preferences were had. So people modified them. This is what I have. Or maybe this is the original. I don't know. I've already got 4 wraps. I kind of want it to have 6 probably. Just so it's not too short. But I'm not going to get 6. This is what I'm getting. So now it comes through there. Okay, I got it. And now there's this kind of strap that has 2 slots and 2 bends in it to hold the cable. So all I need to do is get it in there. I'm gonna have to take a break here. I don't know. Oh, I've got an idea. So I have this pair of vice grips. I'm going to clamp it temporarily. Think that'll work? Right. That helps. There's my connector. It is tight. I feel really good about it. I've got 5 wraps, which I know it takes 4 to go down, so I think this is about perfect. But a little extra just to be sure. Okay, I feel good about that. Now I just need to clean it up a little. Just a little. Okay, so there it is, all sealed up with some tape to hold it there. I'll just leave that tape there forever under this crap, and the next time I'll do the same thing. Okay, so here is where the cable goes through, and what I did was I just put a bunch of caulk sort of gooping off the top here, and where the channel was cut right there, I put some grease on it so that the caulk won't stick to the grease. So then when this cable goes by, I'm hoping it slips in there and sort of makes it like a gasket that opens and closes and minimizes the amount of water that splashes into here. And this is the end of the job. Well, those are tightened up.